Last our topic for today is partnership, co-ownership, and joint venture. So lahat sila magkakasama sa isang handouts because related yung concepts ng tatlo na yan, right? So class, yung knowledge natin sa taxation on individuals and corporations, i-apply natin today. Alright, so ang assumption ko, naalala nyo pa yung previous lessons natin. Alright? Now class, let's start with partnership. Partnership. Sir, parang familiar yan ah. Siyempre, naturo ko na yan sa AFAR. Right? Pero yung sa AFAR class, it's the accounting side. So dito naman, taxation side. Alright? Now, for tax purposes, we have two types of partnership. Number one is ordinary partnership or OP. And the second one is the general professional partnership or GPP. Alright? So we have the OP and we have the GPP. Now class, ordinary partnership is also called general partnership, commercial partnership, business partnership, and partnership in trade. Ayan. So yung limang terms na yung class, they mean the same thing. Kakamukha lang yan. Ordinary, general, commercial, business, and partnership in trade. So huwag kang malilito dyan ha. Now class, ordinary partnerships are taxed the same way as regular corporations. Okay? They are treated as regular corporations. So, ibig sabihin class, yung natutunan natin sa taxation corporations, i-apply lang natin kapag ordinary partnerships. Now, kapag naman GPP, exempt from income tax. Okay? Now class, let's differentiate the two. Lagyan natin dito, meron tayong RSET and MSET. Okay? We have the final withholding tax and we have the capital gains tax. If you are an ordinary partnership, since you are treated as a regular corporation, you are liable to pay this, and this. So, lahat sila. Okay? Babayaran natin yan. Now, kapag naman GPP ka, since exempt ka, hindi mo kailangan bayaran yung RSET or MSET, but you have to pay final withholding tax and capital gains tax. Okay? So, sir, okay pala kapag GPP kasi exempt ka from RSET and MSET. Yes. Pero may strict requirements before ka mag-qualify as GPP. So, we call it GPP because it's a partnership of professionals. So, yung mga sikat dyan, yung mga audit firms, mga law firms, ayan, GPPs yan. Now, again, meron tayong strict criteria. Tingnan natin class yung G-sheets natin. So, open mo yung partnerships. As you notice, sa first part, nandyan yung types of partnership, so ordinary partnership and GPP. So under GPP, meron tayong ABC. Okay, may tatlong criteria tayo. Letter A, the partners have a common profession. Okay, common profession. So ibig sabihin class, hindi pwedeng isang lawyer, isang CPA, gagawa ng GPP. Hindi pwede yun. Dapat common profession. Isang lawyer, isang CPA, isang lawyer, okay, CPA, mag-form ng GPP. Okay, ibig sabihin class, the partners in a GPP must have a common profession. Okay, so assuming may common profession kayo, let's go to letter B, formed for the sole purpose of exercising their common profession. So hindi pwedeng CPA, nag-form ng GPP, and then ang ginawa niya, nagbenta kayo ng calculator. So hindi pwede yun. So dapat, yung purpose kung ba't ka nag-form ng GPP is to offer audit services if CPA, or kapag naman law, mga lawyers, to offer legal services. Yes? And then letter C, no part of income is derived from engaging in any trade or business. So ibig sabihin class, isang lawyer, nag-form ng GPP, and then nag-offer ng legal services, tapos on the side, nagbebenta ng calculator. Hindi pwede yun. So dapat, purely, yung income na madiderive ng GPP will come from the exercise of the profession. So hindi ka pwedeng may side hustle, okay? Sa GPP. Pero outside the GPP, pwede kang may other income. Okay? So later, illustrate natin yan. So now, dapat masatisfy mo yung tatlong criteria na yun before ka maging exempt. Okay? Sige, so para mas maintindihan natin yung class, lagay tayo ng illustration. So for example, ito yung ordinary partnership natin, or the OP. Okay? Let's say meron tayong tatlong partners. Partners A, B, and C. Alright? Now class, sabi ko dito, ordinary partnerships are treated as regular corporations. Therefore, sa partnership level, magiging subject siya sa RSET na either 25% or 20% or MSET na either 1% or 2%. Got it? Kasi regular corporation eh. Ngayon class, at the end of each year, magko-compute tayo ng share in the net income of the partnership. So, si A, B, and C, meron silang share. So, parang sa net income allocation in AFAR. Di ba, every end of the year, nag-compute tayo ng income allocated to the partner. So, meron tayong salaries, may interest, may bonuses, and then yung remainder depende sa agreement nila, P&L ratio. Okay, yun yun. Alright? Ang tawag natin dyan class is distributive share. So, pag nabasa mo yung distributive share, una mo lang iisipin, yan yung ginagawa namin sa AFAR, net income allocation. So, basically, ito yung increase in capital of the partners. Tama? Now, so si A, B, and C, makaka-receive sila ng share from the ordinary partnership. Since treated as a corporation yan, ibig sabihin, treated sila as shareholders. Okay? If shareholders sila, ibig sabihin yung share na yung class will be treated as dividends. And we know from our discussion, kapag dividends from a domestic corporation to individuals, generally subject sila sa 10% final withholding tax. Okay? So, di ba? Parang corporation lang. So dito may RSIT, MSIT ka sa partners level o partnerships level. Sa partners level naman, makaka-receive sila ng dividends. Pero yung dividends na yun, subject to 10% final withholding tax. Now class, ito ay very important. Yung distributive share, tandaan mo yan, na magiging dividends na subject to 10% FWT, okay, includes income, sulat mo ta, includes income subject to final withholding tax and capital gains tax. Includes hindi excludes. Sir, bakit ganun? Di ba natutunan natin sa corporation, kapag na-subject ka sa RSIT or MSIT, hindi ka na pwedeng masubject sa final withholding tax. Yes, correct yun. Pero dito class, iba yung subject, okay? So yung magiging subject sa RSIT dito, yung mga income subject to RSIT and MSIT lang. Hindi yan mag-form part of your, hindi dito makakasama yung income subjected to final withholding tax. Pero dun sa dividends na marireceive ni A, B, and C, okay? Kasama yung income subject to final withholding tax and capital gains tax. Got it? So para mas maintindihan nyo, ganito lang yung class. Naalala nyo sa AFAR natin, income allocation. Di ba ang ginagawa natin, may given na net income, and then follow natin yung partnerships agreement. Hindi naman natin ginawa doong class na, okay, ito yung income, tapos tanggalin natin yung income subject to final tax, income subject to capital gains tax. Hindi ganun. Basta part siya ng income, i-allocate natin sa partners. Okay? Ganun din dito, class. So whether yung income na yan, subject to regular tax, or subject to final withholding tax, or capital gains tax, lahat yan, i-allocate natin sa partners. Got it? Mag-form part yun ng dividends, which will be subjected to 10% final withholding tax. Sir, meron bang double taxation dyan? Yes, pero indirect double taxation. Bakit, class? Kasi dito, na-subject ka na sa final withholding tax, tapos isa-subject ka pa ulit sa 10% na dividends tax. Di ba double taxation yun? Double taxation, pero indirect. Bakit indirect, sir? Kasi dito, class, at this level, ang tinataksan mo is the partnership. Pero at this level, yung 10% FWT, ang tinataksan mo dyan, yung partners, yung shareholders. Gets? Okay, now, ito pa yung concept na critical dito. Si partners A, B, and C, may kanya-kanyang ITR yan. Tama? On or before April 15, magpa-file sila ng ITR, magbabayad sila kay BIR. Tandaan mo, class, na yung share nila sa partnership na yan, hindi na magpo-form part of the ITR. Bakit? Kasi na-subject na yan sa 10% final withholding tax. Pag nilagay mo pa yan sa ITR nila, yun yung direct double taxation. Okay? Ayan. So, yun yung ordinary partnership. Class, i-differentiate natin yan sa GPP. Okay, so GPP, let's say meron tayong tatlong partners. Ayan. So, puro lawyers. Partner A, partner B, and partner C. Okay, si GPP, sabi natin dito, class, exempt siya. Tama? So, therefore, wala siyang babayaran dito. Zero siya. Zero yung income tax niya. Now, at the end of each year, magkukompute tayo ng share. Okay? Allocated to partners A, B, and C. Pero may concept tayo dito na yung share na yan, whether actually, or tawag natin dyan, distributive share, actually or constructively received. Okay? Whether actually or constructively received. So, ibig sabihin, class, whether winidraw ng partners na yan from the partnership yung share nila or hindi, tataksan ng buo yan. Okay? So, let me explain. Di ba sa AFAR natin, net income allocation, yung ina-allocate natin sa partners, yun yung increase ng capital nila. Okay? Pero hindi ibig sabihin na yung ina-allocate natin sa kanila, withdrawin nila lahat yun. Hindi ganun. Tama? Pag withdraw nila, ang tawag doon, actually received. Pag hindi nila withdraw, increase lang yung capital nila, yun yung constructively received. So, ibig sabihin, whether actually or constructively received, i-allocate natin yun sa partners. Gets? Okay. Now, sabi ko dito, includes income subject to final withholding tax or capital gains tax. Applicable din dito yun. Pero dito, class naman, si A, B, and C, okay, may kanya-kanyang ITR sila. Tama? Alright, may kanya-kanyang ITR. And then, yung income na yan, yung share nila from the GPP, okay, magpo-form part ng ITR nila. Gets? Yun yung main difference. Ito hindi. Because na-subject sa final withholding tax, this one magpo-form part of ITR because hindi pa nasa-subject to tax. Alright? Pero tandaan mo, class, yung pupunta sa ITR, okay, excludes income subject to final withholding tax and capital gains tax. So yung distributive share, yung increase in capital balances of A, B, and C, okay, yung distributive share kasama, includes. Tama? Tandaan nyo, parang sa AFAR. Pag distributive share, yun yung allocation to the partners. Lahat ina-allocate mo sa partners, basta income siya. Tama? Pero yung pupunta sa ITR nila, huwag mo isasama yung na-subject na sa final withholding tax and capital gains tax because, again, direct double taxation yun. Tama? So, yan yung difference ng dalawa. So, for now, appreciate muna natin and then later i-apply natin yan. Okay, some notes to remember for GPP. Okay, this is specifically for GPP. Number one, GPPs, okay, GPP and the partners may claim itemized deductions or OSD. Okay? Itemized deductions or OSD at their option. So GPP and the partners may claim itemized deductions or optional standard deduction. Depende sa kanila. Okay? Option nila yan. Number 2, 8% income tax rate option is not allowed, okay, for or to the partners. Okay? Hindi pwede. So, ibig sabihin, tax table lang talaga yung pwedeng gawin ni partners. Okay? Dito, tax table lang yan. And then last one, very important, yung actual distribution to the partners. Okay? Actual distribution is subject to creditable withholding tax. Okay? CWT. Depende yan. Meron tayong threshold. If the actual distribution is not more than 720,000, okay, 720,000, yung CWT natin is 10%. Okay? If it exceeds 720,000, our CWT is 15%. Okay. Ulit, yung actual distribution to the partners, meron tayong CWT or creditable withholding tax. As we learned before, pag sinabing creditable, it means pwede mo siya i-deduct sa future tax payments mo. Tama? 720,000 yung threshold natin. Pag hindi nag-exceed dyan, 10%. Pag nag-exceed dyan, 15%. Take note last na yung CWT only applies to GPP. Yung notes na yan, lahat yan sa GPP. Okay? Dito, hindi yan applicable because ang nag-a-apply sa ordinary partnership is the 10% final withholding tax. Alright? So yeah, so para mas ma-appreciate natin yan, i-apply natin yan sa handouts natin pero hindi ko i-erase para magre-refer tayo dyan. Okay, get your handouts. Let's go to problem number 1. Problem number 1. You have two scenarios, problem number 1. Scenario 1 is what if GPP, scenario 2, what if OP or the ordinary partnership. Pinapahanap sa ating class, net distributable income, income tax of AB and company partnership, and income tax due from each partner. Right? Okay, AB and company partnership had the following data for 2021. Gross income from professional services, 2.5 million. Expenses, 800,000. Personal data of partners A and B. Gross income, 1 million. Deductible expenses, 350. Okay, and then GPP siya. Alright. First off, sir, sabi mo before, yung GPP, dapat yung income niya purely from exercise of profession. Sir, bakit si A and B dyan, meron silang sariling gross income? Well, yung GPP itself, hindi sila pwede maging engaged sa other lines of or other sources of income. Dapat purely exercise of profession. Pero si partner, kapag outside of the GPP, syempre pwede siya rumakit-raket. Pwede siya magkaroon ng other income doon. Ang sinasabi lang na exercise of profession, na bawal kang magkaroon ng income from other sources, sa GPP itself yun. Pero outside of GPP, pwede yun. Okay? Sige, so, gawin natin class, computing natin number 1. Okay? Computing muna natin yung income of the GPP or the net distributable income. Pag sinabi mong net distributable income, yun yung distributive share. Okay? Again, kung isipin mo lang dyan, net income allocation in a FAR. Yun lang yan. Okay, so meron tayong gross income from the problem. It's 2.5 million. Okay? And then we have allowable deductions, 800,000. 2.5 minus 800,000, we have 1.7 million. We call this the net distributable income. Okay. Of the partnership. So, ito yung sagot natin, 1.7 million. Now, i-allocate natin yan sa two partners, partner A and partner B. Okay? So, si partner A, may sinabi mo dito kung ano yung sharing nila. Let's assume na lang na equal sila. So, 1.7 million divided by 2, you have 850,000. Partner A receives 850, partner B receives 850. Okay? Pero take note, sabi ko dyan, pag GPP, yung allocation sa kanila will be subject to CWT. Since 850 yung na-receive nila, which is more than 720,000, 15% yung i-apply natin na CWT. Okay, so ang gagawin natin dyan, yung CWT is times 15%. Okay, 850,000 times 0.15, 127,500. Ito yung CWT. Okay, so pareho lang yan, 15%, 127,500. So ibig sabihin class, yung marireceive lang talaga ni A is 850 minus 127,500. B minus 127,500, 722,500. B receives 722,500. Got it? So sagot natin class, yung net distributable income is 1.7 or basically how much yung income na i-allocate natin to the partners, 1.7 million. Take note, walang tax dito because this is a GPP. Tama? Ngayon, yung income na yan, babayaran mo yung tax niyan sa partners level. Okay? In their separate or personal capacity. Sa ITR nila. Okay? So, tingnan natin class. Income tax of AB and company partnership. So, again, ito yung sagot mo sa A. Sa B naman, yung sagot natin class is 0. Kasi nga exempt yung GPP from income tax. Ang magbabayad yan sa A and B. So, compute natin yung kay A. Sabi sa letter C, income tax due from each partner. So, compute natin yung income tax due and income tax payable. Kasi magkaiba yung dalawa na yan. Pareho natin compute yan. So, we have partner A. Okay. So, yung gross income ni partner A from personal. Okay. And dito, partner A. Okay. Personal niya is 2.5 million. 1 million lang kay partner A. And then, meron siyang share from the GPP. Okay, how much? Class, ano ilalagay natin dyan? Is it 850,000 or 722,500? Natutunan natin last time, yung gross amount, yung 100% na ilalagay mo dyan. And then later on, tsaka na natin i-minus yung CWT. Okay? 850, add natin yan. So, 1 million plus 850,000, you have gross income of 1,850,000. Right? And then, we have allowable deductions. Kay partner A, nakita nyo class yung 350,000. Okay, so we have net taxable income, 1,850 minus 350, we have 1.5 million. And because si A is an individual, yung mga partners niya, individuals yan. Tama? Always. Kasi bawal na yung partners, corporations, bawal yan. Okay? So partners should be individuals. Therefore, ang gagamitin natin is the tax table. Okay? So class, punta tayo dun sa individuals, yung tax table dyan. So yung net taxable income is 1.5 million. Therefore, punta tayo dun sa net income, o net taxable income over 800,000 but not over 2 million. Nakita niyan? So therefore, gamitin natin to compute for the tax due. Okay, tax due is 130,000 plus 30% in excess of 800,000. Okay? So 130,000 plus 30% in excess of 800,000. So 1.5 million minus 800,000. Okay, so let's compute. 1.5 million minus 800,000 times 30% plus 130,000. Answer natin dito class is 340,000. So this is our income tax due. Yan yung sagot natin, 340. Pag sinabi mong income tax due, yun yung total na kailangan mong bayaran kay BIR. Okay? Pag naman sinabi mong income tax payable, ima-minus natin yung CWT. Take note class, yung CWT, bayad na yan, tama? May advanced payment na yan. So kapag niles mo yung CWT na 127,500, okay, 340,000 minus 127,500, you get 212,500. Ang tawag natin dito class is income tax payable or also called income tax still due. Okay, income tax payable or income tax still due, ibig sabihin, iyan pa yung kulang na bayad mo kay BIR. Okay, so pinapahanap sa atin sa problem is tax due, 340,000 yung sagot, pero sagutin na rin natin yung income tax payable, that is 212,500. So ingat ka lang, magkaiba yung income tax due and income tax payable. Okay, so let's do the same thing for partner B. Ayan. Si partner B, meron siyang personal income na, nasan yun, 800,000. And then, meron siyang share, equal naman sila, so 850,000 again, 100% lalagay mo dyan. 800 plus 850, you have 1,650,000. Allowable deductions of partner B is 200. 1,650 minus 200, you have 1,450,000 net taxable income. Apply natin yung tax table natin. Doon pa rin siya magpo-fall, 130,000 plus 30% in excess. Okay, so tax due natin class, 130,000 plus 30% in excess of 800,000, so 1,450 minus 800,000. Sige, so let's compute. 1,450,000 minus 800 times 30% plus 130, you get 325,000. Yung 325,000, actually, ito na yung income tax due natin, yun yung final answer. Pero compute na rin natin income tax payable. Let's deduct yung CWT of 127,500. Alright, so 325,000 minus 127,500, you get 197,500. Alright, so this is our income tax payable or income tax due, 197,500. Okay, yun yung final answers natin. By the way, class, yung CWT na yan, ang nagre-remit niyan, ang nagbabayad niyan, or nagwi-withhold kay BIR is the GPP. Okay, yung partnership na nagwi-withhold niyan. Alright, so ayan. So yeah, so yung answer natin sa scenario number 1. So class, what if naman, scenario number 2, ordinary partnership naman, okay? So paano sir magiging changes yan? Sagutan natin yan. Kapag ordinary partnership, so hindi na siya GPP, OP na siya, okay? Tignan natin yung difference. So kapag ordinary partnership, okay, meron kang gross income na 2.5 million, we have allowable deductions of 800,000, okay? We have net taxable income of 1.7 million. Okay, so net taxable income, kasi class, yung ordinary partnership is taxed as a regular corporation. Magbabayad siya ng RCIT or MCIT. So multiply natin by 25%. Okay, 1.7 million times 25%. Okay, you get yung income tax natin or tax due natin is 425,000. So pinapahanap sa ating class is distributive share of each partner. Now, ang gagawin natin dyan, ito yung net taxable income natin. So paano natin sir kukumputin yung distributive share? Again, pag sinabing distributive share, ang isipin mo lang, yan yung income to be allocated to the partners. So meron ka net taxable income, okay, 1.7 million, and then minus yung tax, na 425, ito yung distributive share natin. Actually class, yung distributive share mo is also your net income. Tama lang? Kasi income before tax, which is net taxable income, minus tax, yun yung net income mo, yun din yung distributive share mo. Okay, so 1.7 million minus 425,000, you have 1,275,000. Now, allocate natin yan to partners A and B, okay? Partner A receive divided by 2, 637,500, okay? And partner B receives 637,500. Yun yung share nila. Alright, 637,500 for A and same amount for B. Take note class, kapag ordinary partnership, yung share nila magiging subject to 10% final withholding tax. So, lagay natin dito. Computin na rin natin yung final withholding tax of 10%. 63,700 times 10%. So, you have 63,750. Partner B, 63,750. Got it? Okay. Now, okay na tayo sa distributive share. Ito sagot natin, 63,700 for A. For B naman, 67,500. Income tax of AB and company partnership. So, kanina, sa GPP, 0 yung sagot natin. Pero sa ordinary partnership, syempre meron yan. 425,000. Yung sagot natin for B. 425,000. Income tax due from each partner. Ano yung difference nila? Sa GPP, nagfo-form part ng ITR yan. Tama? Sa OP, wala yan sa ITR. So, ibig sabihin, class, kung i-recompute natin sa A, tatanggalin natin yung share na yan. Okay? So, i-recompute natin. Okay? So, si A, meron siyang gross income na 1 million sa separate, sa personal business niya, 1 million. Meron siyang allowable deductions na 350,000. Okay? So, 1 million minus 350. This is the net taxable income of partner A. 1.6 or that's 650,000. Let's compute the tax due using the tax table. 650,000. Nandun siya sa 30,000 plus 25% in excess of 400. So, lagay natin dito class, 30,000. Okay, 30,000 plus 25% in excess of 400. So, 650 minus 400. Okay, so let's compute. 650,000 minus 400,000 times 25% plus 30,000, you get 92,500. Our income tax due is 92,500. That's also our income tax payable. Magkamukha lang sila. Bakit, sir? Because kapag ordinary partnership class, tanda mo, wala kang CWT. CWT only applies to GPP. Okay, so yun yung sagot natin. Income tax due and income tax payable, 92,500. Let's do the same thing for partner B. Okay, so si partner B, since partner siya of a ordinary partnership, okay, yung dividends na subject na sa final withholding tax, therefore, hindi na yan pupunta sa ITR ni B. Okay, so meron siya 800,000 na gross income, allowable deductions of 200, net taxable income of B is 600,000, and then using the tax table, computing natin yung tax due or income tax payable of B, 600,000, that is yung pa rin, 30,000 plus 25% in excess. Okay, plus 25% in excess of 400,000. So, 600 minus 400,000. Let's compute. Okay, 600 minus 400,000 times 25% plus 30,000, you get 80,000. So, final answers for question C. For partner A, 92,500. For partner B, 80,000. Okay, so yan. That's how you answer number 1. Easy. Okay. Let's answer a more comprehensive problem. Problem number 2. Okay, so problem number 2, let's read the questions. We have 4 questions for this problem. So question number 1, compute for the distributive share, okay, of each partner in the total income of the general professional partnership, GPP. So class, again, pag sinabi kong distributive share, isipin mo lang ito yung net income allocation in a FAR, right? Lagi ko inuulit yun, okay? So, because it's important. Question number 2, compute for the taxable income of Y on his separate capacity. Ibig sabihin, dun sa ITR ni Y, alright? Compute for the taxable income assuming the GPP opted to use OSD, and compute for the taxable income assuming the GPP and Y opted to use OSD. Sabi ko kayo dito class, sa note number 1 natin, the GPP and the partners may claim itemized or OSD. Depende sa kanila yan, okay? Sila yung may option. Okay, so sagutin natin yung class. On January 1, 2021, Attorney X, Attorney Y, and Attorney Z established a law firm. The 2021 financial records of the firm disclose the following: service revenue, cost of services, and operating expenses. You have income, interest income from bank deposit, interest income from foreign currency deposit. So class, alam natin, yung interest income from bank deposit subject to 20% final withholding tax. So write it down. Pag naman foreign currency deposit, 15% final withholding tax. Tama? Sige. Attorney Y is also engaged in business with the following data. So outside of the GPP, si Attorney Y rumaraket din siya. So meron siyang sales, may cost of sales, and meron tayong operating expenses. First question, compute for the distributive share of each partner. Okay? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, class. So ito yung GPP. Okay, so question 1, lalagay ko dito yung service revenue. Service revenue amounting to 4,990,000. Alright? And then I'll put here cost of services amounting to 1,610,000. Okay? So service revenue minus cost of services, so lagyan natin, computin natin yan, 4,990 minus 1,610, you get 3,380,000. That's your gross income. Tama? 3,380,000. Now, we have allowable deductions or operating expenses of 800,000, and then we get our operating income 3,380 minus 800 of 2,580,000. Okay, 2,580,000. Plus, ito yung sinabi ko kanina na yung distributive share, whether OP or GPP, Includes income subject to final withholding tax and capital gains tax. Isasama natin yan, okay? So, kaya lalagyan natin dito, class, interest income. Pero remember, dapat net of tax sila. Okay? Kasi class, ganito yan. Yung interest mo dun sa bangko, tama? Pag nakita mo yung passbook mo, net na yung marireceive mo, net of 20%. Yung net na yun yung lalagay natin dito. Okay? Yun yung i-allocate natin income to the partners. Ang gagawin natin dyan, class, 200,000 times 80%, kasi 20% yung final withholding tax, that is 160,000. Tama? 160,000. Ito yung interest income from bank deposit. Ito naman yung interest income from foreign currency. So, lagyan natin 280,000, yung 15%, so 85%, 280,000 times 0.85, you get 238,000. So, if you add operating income, and then, so 2,580 plus interest income, plus, that's 160 plus 238, you get here, class, 2,978,000. 2,978,000, ang tawag natin dyan, this is the distributive income, okay? Distributive income or distributive, okay? Not distributed, distributive income. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yan yung pwedeng i-distribute to the partners. Okay? Take note, class, na yung distributive income is just equivalent to your net income. Tama ba? Kapag gagawa ka ng income statement, di ba ganito ginagawa mo? So, revenue minus cost of services, minus operating expenses, add mo yung mga other income, di ba ganun sa accounting? Other income yan eh. You have the net income. So, distributive income is equal to net income. So, write that down. Okay, ang tanong dito, class, is of each partner. So, ang gagawin ko dyan, 2,978,000. Tama? I-divide ko yan kay A, X, Y, and Z. 2,978 divided by 3. Okay, 992,667. 992,667. 992,667. 992,667. Yan yung sagot natin. Letter A is our answer. Letter A. Now, let's go to question number 2. Question number 2, compute for the taxable income of Y on a separate capacity. Take note si Y, meron siyang given na may personal business siya. Okay? Meron siyang sales na 2.5 million. 2.5 million. And then, meron siyang cost of sales, alright, na 1,250,000. So, that's minus 1,250. And then, si Y, meron siyang share from the GPP. Okay, ito lang, ingat ka dito. Sabi ko dyan, kapag yung mapupunta na sa ITR ng mga partners, i-exclude mo na yung income subject to final withholding tax and capital gains tax. Bakit, sir? Kasi nga, na-subject na sila sa final taxes. So, dapat hindi na mag-form part ng ITR. Got it? So basically, pag sinabi mong distributive income, pwede mong isipin na iyon yung increase ng capital balances ng partners. Pero it doesn't mean na iyon yung amount na pupunta sa ITR ng mga partners. Yung pupunta sa ITR is basically yung operating income niyan. 2,580,000 divided by 3. Okay? Kasi excluding yung subject to final tax. So 2,580 divided by 3, that is 860,000. So yung 860,000, iyon yung mapupunta kay partner Y. So yung share from the GPP, 860,000. Okay? Si Y, meron siyang allowable deductions na from personal business, 550,000. So let's compute for the taxable income of Y. Net taxable income, okay, 2.5 million minus 1,250,000 plus 860 minus 550, you get 1,560,000. Answer here, 1,560,000, the net taxable income of Y, letter C. Okay, letter C. Let's go to question number 3. Compute for the taxable income of Y, assuming the GPP opted to use OSD. So, class, naalala nyo pa kung ano yung computation OSD natin? OSD natin is 40% of gross income. Got? Naalala nyo pa? Okay, so 40% of gross income, if si GPP class mag-OSD siya, paano yung computation natin? Well, may gross income tayo dito. Tama? 3,380,000. So, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Gross income na 3,380,000 and then multiply ko yan by 40% to get the OSD. Okay, 3,380 times 0.4, I got here 1,352,000. 1,352,000. So, ibig sabihin, this is our net taxable income or net income, okay? Because wala naman tax si GPP, 3,380 minus 1,352,000, you have 2,028,000. Ano ba klaseng tanong? Yung tanong sa atin is taxable income of Y, okay? 2,028,000. Since ang tanong class is si Y, hindi ko na ilalagay dyan yung income subject to final tax. Tama? Hindi naman distributive income yung tinatanong. Ang tinatanong dyan, how much yung babayaran ni Y, okay? So, ang gagawin ko dyan, since ito, operating income lang yan, tama? Di-divide ko by 3. Okay, 2,028 divided by 3, 676,000, ito yung share ng mga partners na mapupunta sa separate ITR nila. So si Y, meron siyang sales, tama, na 2.5 million. Okay, sales 2.5 million. Y has cost of sales amounting to 1,250,000. Okay, and then yung share na yan na 676, mapupunta rin kay Y yan, tama? May share siya na 676. And then, what else? Allowable deductions ni Y, amounting to 550, therefore, yung taxable income of Y, or net taxable income, is, let's compute, 2.5 million minus 1,250 plus 676 minus 550,000, you have 1,376,000. 1,376,000, final answer is letter A. Letter A. Ignore kasi, di ko na sinama yung income subject to final tax kasi ang tanong naman is yung babayaran ni Y o yung taxable income ni Y. Hindi tinanong kung ano yung distributable income. Pag distributable income, ang gagawin ko dyan, meron akong net income, i-add ko yung dalawa niyan. Yun yung net distributable income. Okay, so last one is, question number 4, compute for the taxable income of Y assuming the GPP and Y opted to use OSD. Okay, so gagawin ko dyan class, nag-OSD daw si GPP and si Y. Now, ito nag-OSD na sa number 3, tama? So ito na yung share ni Y. Got it? 676 pa rin. Now, sa books ni Y, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Meron siyang sales na 2.5 million. Okay? And then, merong OSD si Y. Okay. So, ganito yung class. Yung OSD, for individuals, ano nga ba yung basis nun? Di ba? OSD sa corporations, based on gross income. Kapag individuals, ano yung basis mo? Gross sales or receipts. Naalala niyo pa? Okay. So, gross sales or receipts, 2.5 million yung basis mo. Okay? 2.5 million times 40%, you get 1 million. 1 yan. So, yung OSD natin is 1 million. Okay? And then, saka mo ilalagay yung share ni Y. Okay? Yung share niya na 676. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, 676,000. The net taxable income of Y is, so 2.5 million minus 1 million plus 676,000. Ulit, 2.5 minus 1 million plus 676,000. Answer here is 2,176,000, letter C. 2,176,000. So, class, ito mahalaga. No? Very important. Yung OSD na 40%, okay, ang basis niya yung gross sales or receipts. Huwag mong isasama yung share dito sa gross sales or receipts. Okay? Hindi ka pwede mag-multiply ng 40% dun sa share. Okay? Ganito yung kasi class. Before ng train, okay, before create, ganito kasi yung rule. Para lang inform kayo. No? Ganito kasi yung class. Sa GPP and partners, okay. So, pag si GPP nag-itemized, pwede mag-itemized si partners. Okay? Pag si GPP nag-itemized, si partner pwede siya mag-OSD. Alright? Pag si GPP nag-OSD, pwede mag-itemized si partner. Okay? And then yung last one na combination, pag nag-OSD si GPP, dati, okay, before train law, before create, bawal mag-OSD si partner. Okay? Bakit sir? Kasi mado-double deduction ka. Tama? Kay GPP, nag-40% ka na, tapos, yung share ni Y, 40% mo ulit, double deduction yun. Kaya dati bawal yun. Ngayon, pwede na. Okay? Pwede na mag-OSD si partner. Pero, yung OSD ni partner, okay, hindi mo isasama to dun sa mumultiplyan mo ng 40%. Okay? So, for example, nakalagay dyan, gross receipts. Yung receipts, yung share na yan, hindi siya pupunta sa gross receipts. Nag-gets nyo ba yun? So, ibig sabihin, allowed na yung OSD, given na yung computation ni partner ng OSD, wag mo i-multiply yung 40%, wag mo isasama yung share dun sa mumultiplyan mo ng 40%. Okay? Matino ba yan? Okay. Pero basically, accepted na to. Lahat ng combination na yan, accepted na under train law and create law. Okay. So answer for question 4 is 2,176,000. Let's go to problem number 3. Okay, problem number 3. Easy lang yan. No? XYZ company is a business partnership, ordinary partnership. Its gross sales amounted to 30 million for taxable year 2021. The recorded cost of sales and operating expenses, 8,250 and 4.5 million. Okay, it also incurred the interest expense of 600,000 in connection with asset acquisition and incurred and interest income from bank deposit to 300,000. Okay? So now, question sa ating class is how much is the taxable income of the partnership? How much is the income tax liability of the partnership? Assuming the partnership avails of the OSD, how much is the tax liability of the partnership? Ganito gagawin ko dyan, number 3. So we have gross sales amounting to 30 million. Okay? Ma-minus ko dyan yung cost of sales. Okay? Sabi sa problem, yung cost of sales, 8,250,000. Diba? Now, so we have gross sales, we have cost of sales. So 30 million minus 8,250. Yung gross income natin is 2,150,000. And then we have operating expenses na 4.5 million. And then class, meron kang, so second paragraph, meron kang interest expense na 600, meron kang interest income na 300. Well, alam natin class, yung interest income na yan, na subject na yan sa final withholding tax. Hindi siya papasok dito. Tama? Now, yung interest expense class, before create, okay, sa train do, ito yung train. So, lagyan natin dito. So, this is another major change in create, okay, under create. Well, di-discuss ulit natin siya sa deductions, pero discuss na siya agad yan, okay? Ulitin na natin next time. Now, under train law, meron tayong non-deductible, dito, mali pala. So, lagay ko dito, Non-deductible interest expense. Non-deductible interest expense. Okay? Ang general rule kasi class, yung interest expense, kasama siya sa allowable deductions. Okay? Pero may limit yan. Okay? Under train law, yung limit niya is 33% of interest income. Okay? Under create, ang limit na niya ngayon is 20% of interest income. Okay? So, syempre, sundin natin is the 20%. Now, lagay ko dito class, so assuming yung OPEX, syempre wala pa dyan yung interest expense. Tama? So, lagay ko dito interest expense. So, instead of deducting 600,000, may portion dyan na non-deductible. So, ganito yung computation dyan. 600,000 minus 20% of interest income. Okay? Pero yung interest income mo should be grossed up. Okay? 20% of grossed up interest income. So, ganito gagawin ko dyan. Yung 300,000 na yung class, alam natin na subjected na yan sa 20% final withholding tax. So, paano mo siya i-gross up? Di-divide ko by 80%. Tama? Divide natin by 80%, saka natin i-multiply yung 20%. Okay? Times 20%. Sige nga, compute natin class yan. 300,000 divided by 0.8 times 20%. Na-compute nyo ba ito class? This is 75,000. Ito, 75,000 yan. So, ibig sabihin, ang pwede mo lang i-deduct na interest expense is 600 minus 75,000. 600 minus 75,000, you have 525,000. Okay, so yan. And then yung net taxable income natin, okay, compute natin ha. Gross income na 21,750. And then, minus natin yung 4.5 million operating expenses, minus 525 na interest expense, 16,725,000. So, final answer natin dyan, class, is 16,725,000. So, dati, under train law, yung 20% na yan is 33%. Okay? So, FYI. Para maalala nyo, ganito yan. Sir, bakit nag-iba from 33 naging 20? Ganito yan, class. Yung dating corporate tax rate is 30%. Minus yung final withholding tax of interest income is 20%. So 30 minus 20 over 30 is 33%. Okay? Under create, na iba kasi yung corporate tax rate, naging 25%. 25% minus 20% over 25% is 20%. Okay? Yan yung basis niyan. Huwag natin i-solve yung ano yung reason dyan. Okay? Actually, may mga arbitrage pang concept yan, pero yan yung reason. Yan yung computation yan. Okay? So, yan. So yeah, let's go to question number 2. How much is the income tax liability of the partnership? So ito yung sagot natin sa A. Okay, 16,725. Multiply natin by 25%. 16,725 times 0.25. You get 4181,250. 4181,250. Our income tax due or income tax payable. Sagot natin sa letter B. Okay? And then, assuming the partnership avails of the OSD, how much is the income tax liability? Okay. Ngayon, pag OSD, wala tayong problema dyan sa interest expense na yan. Bakit, sir? Kasi yung basis mo ng OSD is the gross income. Tama? Ganito lang gagawin ko dyan sa number 3. I have a gross income of 21,750,000. Okay? And then, kukumputin ko yung OSD, which is 40% of gross income, 21,750 times 0.4, you get 8.7 million. So, minus 8.7 million. Alright? So, you get the net taxable income, 21,750 minus 8.7 of 13,050,000. Alright? 13,050,000. Multiply ko by 25%. My income tax payable is times 0.25, 3262,500. 3262,500. This is our final answer. 3262,500. Take note, kapag nag-OSD, wala na tayong issue dito sa interest expense. Naman, di natin kinonsider. Bakit, sir? Kasi pag OSD, in lieu of your itemized deductions. Tama? So, wala nang effect sa atin yung interest expense na yan. Okay, so yun yung sagot natin. 16,725, 4181,250 and 3262,500. Okay, so yun lang actually yung problem sa atin sa partnership. Sagutan natin yung mga related questions, theory questions sa partnership. Number 1, for purposes of taxation, partnership is classified in two majors, ordinary partnership and GPP, that's correct. Ordinary partnership is treated as a corporate taxpayer, correct, regular corporation. General professional partnership is exempt from income tax. That's correct. Letter A, 1, 2, and 3. 2. The members of this form of business organization shall be liable for income tax only on their individual capacity and their share in the profits, whether distributed or not, actually or constructively received. Tama? Shall be returned for taxation. This applies to letter C, general professional partnership or GPP. Number 3. A GPP is exempt from income tax, but a partner shall be taxable on his share, okay, that he should consolidate with his own income. Tama. So, kino-consolidate natin. Kaya yung share, sinasama natin yun sa personal income of the partners. That's correct. Statement 1 is correct. A partnership that is not a general professional partnership, ibig sabihin, OP, ordinary partnership, is taxable sa corporation. Yes. And a partner shall report his sharing income as dividend income whether actually received or not. Okay. That's also correct. So, dividend income yung treatment siya kasi ordinary partnership. Letter A is the answer. Number 4, which of the following is false? A partner's share in the net profits of a GPP is not compensation income? Yes, hindi siya compensation. Kasi kapag compensation income, well, yun yung mga subject to yung mga withholding taxes, tama? Hindi siya compensation, it's share in the GPP's income, okay? So, correct yung A. B, a limited partnership is considered for tax purposes a corporation and the partnerships. Yung limited partnership, again, I think yun yung ibang term for ordinary partnership, okay? So it means, so B, an ordinary partnership is considered for tax purposes as a corporation and the partnerships thereof likened to stockholders. That's correct, okay? Letter C, income taxation rules, application to corporations likewise apply to informal partnerships. Informal or yung ordinary partnerships, correct din yan. Letter D, registered GPPs are subject to income tax. False, exempt from income tax. Dog is the correct answer for number 4. Let's go to number 5. The distributive share of a partner in the net income of taxable partnership, okay, ano yung distributive share? Income allocated to the partners is equal to each partner's distributive share of the net income declared in the partnership after deducting the corresponding corporate tax. Okay, so statement 1 is correct. Okay. So ibig sabihin lang yung class, yun yung, again, for statement 1, taxable partnership daw yan. So i-minus muna natin yung corporate tax, tama, sa partnership level, and then saka natin kukumputin yung share nila. Okay? Statement 2, if a taxable partnership sustains net loss, the partner shall be entitled to deduct their shares in the net loss from their individual gross income. False. Applicable siya sa GPP. Nakalagay kasi in taxable partnership. Hindi. In GPP, or if GPP sustains net loss, etc. Tama yan. So, kasi nakalagay dyan taxable, incorrect yan. It should be GPP. So, boy yung sagot. Statement 1 is true. Statement 2 is false. Number 6, for purposes of computing the distributive share of the partners of a GPP, the net income shall be computed in the same manner as a corporation. Correct yan. Di ba sabi ko kanina dito, ito, sinulat ko, yung distributive share is basically the net income. Correct yung statement 1. Statement 2, partners of a taxable partnership are considered as shareholders. Yes, distributed to them are considered as dividends. Correct. Subject to 10% final withholding tax. Dog yung sagot sa number 6. Number 7, the share of the partner in the gross income of the GPP is added to his own gross income. Tama sana, kaya lang hindi gross income of the GPP, net income of the GPP. So false yung statement 1. Statement 2, the share of the partner in the net income of GPP is also considered passive income. Hindi. Okay, hindi siya passive income. Kasi mag-form part siya of the ITR. Okay, pag passive income kasi usually subject to final withholding tax. Hindi. Ang subject to final withholding tax, yung share ng partners sa ordinary partnership. So answer for number 7 is A. Statements 1 and 2 are false. Number 8. The share of a partner in the profits of a GPP is regarded as received by him and thus taxable although not yet distributed. This principle is known as letter D, constructive receipt of income. Ito yun. Whether actually or constructively received, ang tawag natin dyan, constructive receipt of income, dog. Number 9, under RA 10963, that's train law, okay? An individual partner of a GPP applying OSD is not allowed for any deduction on his distributive shares. Okay, class, correct yan. Okay, ang ibig sabihin ng statement 1 na yan, yung OSD daw na 40%, hindi mo siya i-multiply dun sa distributive share. Yun yung ibig sabihin yan, okay? Same lang yung train law tsaka create law, ha? Okay, pagdating dito. An individual partner of a GPP applying OSD is not allowed for any deduction on his distributive share. Correct. So yung 40% mo will be based on gross sales or receipts. Huwag mo isasama dun yung share from the GPP. Statement 2, under RA 10963 or the train law, an individual partner of a GPP may avail of the 8% tax. Mali. Okay, again, may note number 2 tayo. 8% option, hindi siya allowed. Okay? True and false, letter A is the correct answer. Only statement 1 is correct. Okay, so last 2. If a GPP is on the accrual method and a partner is on cash method, the partner's determination of taxable income, actually, A yung sagot dito, okay? For number 10, FYI. He can consolidate his share in the net income of the partnership determined by the partnership under the accrual method with his own income determined using the cash method. So, ibig sabihin, class, hindi na required na i-convert mo pa. Pareho yung cash method, pareho yung accrual method. Hindi. Pwede mo na i-consolidate both yan. Letter A is the answer. And number 11, a general professional partnership is exempt from income tax but is required to file an ITR. Plus yung GPP ba? Kailangan po mag-file ng ITR? Yes, kahit exempt siya, kailangan yan. So, ano yung reason? Letter B is the reason. Because the net income of the partnership will be traced into the ITR of the partners. So, sa BIR, ang gagawin niya, yung ITR ni GPP, okay, ititrace niya yun. Dapat yung share doon, o yung report na share, dapat consistent doon sa ITR ng mga partners. So, ima-match ni BIR yan. Gets? That's why kailangan pa rin si GPP mag-prepare ng ITR. Answer for number 11 is boy. Okay, so that's partnership. Let's have a break.